Camera's rolling. Okay, so first and foremost, I got to get the obvious thing out of the way. It's dark in here, right? Nah, we can talk about the hair. We can talk about the hair real quick. My homegirl hooked me up, my bestie, my sis. Thank you so much. I'm going to Florida in a couple days, so I was not dealing with my hair in Florida. So anyway, yay, got my hair done. It's beautiful. I love it. Thank you, sis. Got it out the way. Now, the other obvious thing, you may or may not, you notice it, because I notice it. I can't stand to look at it. It's so dark in here, right? So I was like, all right, I love this shop. This is dark. So I was like, let me go get my light. Let me go get da-da-da-da-da. Nah, we ain't doing all that, right? So then I grabbed what's called a reflector. And if you're into production stuff, you know what this is. But if not, basically this is something to bounce the light coming in from this window onto this side of my face. So it lights up this side of my face a little bit. This is without it. This is with it. You're getting a quick little tutorial here. I got a real point in this video, but just stick with me because we ain't editing this. So anyway, I was like, okay, bet, like this looks good. But then I was like, you can see the whole reflection. So I was like, all right, is this what we're about to do? And then I was like, let me go get the lights. And then I was just like, no. Anyway, so I'm just gonna hold this up and maybe I'll stick it on my leg. But yeah, it's gonna be there. It's our friend now. I'm just gonna embrace it. But I figured that it could be nice to show like some of the behind the scenes. Usually you don't reveal that there's a reflector right here or whatever. Like you should want to hide it, but we ain't doing that today because I'm not trying to put on a whole production. So anyway, back to business. What I originally came on to talk about today was just the effects of some of the bad conditions, some of the bad conditioning and patterns and thoughts that I had. So let me tell you what happened. So I'm driving down the street and there's construction. Michigan got some grants or something, and they're tearing up all the streets everywhere. It's just chaos everywhere. So the street's closed, and it said it was open for business. So I needed to go to the gas station that was on that road. So it's a two-way street, but you know, road's closed, but the gas station was open, right? So I go get gas, and the time it took me to get gas, get back in my car, I forgot that the freaking road was closed because it's unofficial, but my therapist suspects that I am inattentive ADHD because that happens to me all the time. Like I'll hear something and then boom, gone, you know. And what happened was I pulled onto the street, ran right past the signs because like I'm past the signs now because you know, I went through because that was a business. I drove past it and I was like, oh, you know, it was closed. But at this point, I'm on the street already. So I was just like, okay, let me just hurry up and get to the next street. And, you know, I can get out of the way. But then I realized the oncoming traffic, their lanes were merging into the lane that I was in. It became a one-way street and I was going the wrong way. And usually when stuff like that happens, like obviously I was embarrassed. You know, I'm doing one of these to everybody like, hey, my bad. But I found myself being like, hey, what's done is done. Move on. Thank God nobody got hurt. Just move on. I'm sure you're not the first person that has done that, whatever. And I wasn't happy with that because like I talked about before in the series or the challenge rather, that sometimes I just want to jump away from the negative, the uncomfortable emotions and then just get to feeling better, but I don't process anything. So I was like, nah, we gotta talk about this. We gotta process it because what I realized was that is one of the reasons that I move through the world the way that I do. I am timid. I'm unsure of myself and I lack confidence sometimes because I know that I tend to forget things. I tend to make mistakes like that where someone could just tell me something and then it's gone. And I'm like, oh, shoot, or I'm on autopilot or what have you. And what I've done in the past is be like, see, you can't be trusted, clown. something wrong with your brain. Like, and I would shame myself into trying to fix the mistake. I always say it's okay to make mistakes, just don't keep making the same ones. But I wouldn't give myself that same grace. So today that was a real problem. Like, I'm not trying to diminish that at all. That was a very real problem. So what I did was I processed like, okay, that was embarrassing. I need to reject these lies that my head is trying to tell me of like, hey, you can't be trusted. Hey, you're dumb. Hey, da 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 da. I needed to reject that and say like, hey, I made a mistake today. Thank God nobody got hurt. Thank God there was no crash or anything like that. Nobody even beeped at me, which getting beeped at is, because it always makes me jump and it startles me. I don't know what that is, but don't beep your horn at me because I'll be ready to fight. Anyway, not for real, but but like none of that happened. And I was just like, okay, God, Lord, first and foremost, thank you for your protection. Also, if you can help me with my deficits so I can become someone who's more attentive, who can retain information, especially important informations like that, but also help me move about the world confidently, safely, and wisely. And that really helped me like find that place of like, Jill, you can still trust yourself. You can still trust yourself and also trust God to know that even if you make a mistake, you're covered, right? So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying drive down one-way streets and just be like, take the wheel, Lord. Like, we're not testing it like we're not testing it like on some God got to prove himself type stuff, but more so of just driving as wise as you can, trying to be as aware as you can. And, and in my case, continuing to pray for that guidance and help in retaining certain things because I genuinely forgot, which happens a lot. Wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did. But I just had to get to a point where I was just like, okay, let me not tear up Jill. Let me not damage Jill because she made a mistake. But like most people, I've been talking to ChatGPT. And one thing, if you're going to use ChatGPT, make sure you tell it to like, how did I start this off? I was like, hey, just be real, blunt, direct, and upfront. You don't have to validate or confirm anything. You don't have to kiss my tookies because that's what I feel like ChatGPT does sometimes. But I just said what happened. And it really gave me some profound things that helped me process this. So I recommend talking to ChatGPT. Just be sure to kind of hold it up to scrutiny because sometimes it can kind of, put a little extra icing on the cake and it's just like, but it says, here's the deeper truth of what you're confronting. It's not about the road, but it's about how you see yourself when you mess up. The mistake isn't the problem. The meaning you've learned to attach to the mistake is, see, you can't be trusted. You're forgetful. You're dumb. You're dangerous. That internal voice, that's not you. That's shame dressed up as self-awareness. It sounds rational because it borrows truth. Yes, you forgot. Yes, that can be risky, but it twists the fact It twists that fact into an identity. You're fundamentally flawed, so play small and move quietly throughout the world. Nah, that's the lie. They didn't say nah, I said nah. And then it went back to really start to kind of reassure what was going on. And it just basically said, you're a capable human being who forgot one thing for 1 second. It led to a close call, not a disaster. What matters is what you did in response. I recognized danger, moved with awareness, I prayed, reflected, and I chose growth over suppression. That's not a person who can't be trusted. That's someone learning to trust themselves again after years of after years of after years of shame-based After years of shame-based hesitation. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, they made some ChatGPT made some good points and really helped me work through that. But like, I think part of this challenge is just me, it's just me sharing these things for myself to process them, but also I'm still tapping into creating, you know. But also I hope to look back at this one day and you know, really see the growth, you know. So this is sort of a hybrid of me putting out my creations, but also like a diary, a journal, if you will. So so yeah, I just wanted to pop on here and share that, and I hope y'all got some value from it, because I know I did. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, hanging out with me in my reflector bounce. But as always, I appreciate you. No, that ain't the line. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and stay beautiful. Peace. See, I'm just forgetting all the things today. I forgot how to talk, forgot how to drive. God is good. And good.